There are no promises when you start a career. The journey is not always pleasurable, and it's full of trials, regrets, and wrong turns. The gifts for all the effort are the incredible people you meet along the way and the grace in the successful moments. I wanted to thank you for your impact on my journey. My journey was full of twists and turns, but thanks to the kindness of others, it's been a great and exciting 35 years. I'm celebrating 25 years serving the Banker family and the people of Alinsco and Al Banker Insurance. It's been 35 years since my first career gig, and this is a reflection on an incredible experience. My wife, Danae, is responsible for getting my career started. When I was 18 and in college, I had visited every radio station in Dallas-Fort Worth. I walked into every office in my suit with my resume, and I asked if I could get a moment with the program director. I followed up with calls only to be told that there were no paid internships, and if I had an internship, I must get school credit, and I was not far along in my studies to receive school credit. I was discouraged. I was doing insulation and cleaning pools and apartments in Arlington, Texas, and I watched the recent grads suited up and jumping in their Mazda Miatas and driving off to their Dallas jobs. Danae and I were walking through the University Center one afternoon when she noticed a posting for an internship at K-Love in Dallas. My first response was no way. I had no desire to work in an oldie station playing the Beatles and Chuck Berry. But she said, if you want a radio job, here's someone looking, so don't pass it up. I called the number and set up an interview with program director Chuck Brinman. If Danae had not insisted, I would have never called. I showed up for the interview in my suit and ready to do anything they wanted. Chuck asked me a few questions. I told him I wanted to be in radio and was happy to sweep the floors. He said that would not be necessary, and off we went, right into the studio, and I started my internship with K-Love. And so my career outside of manual labor began. Chuck introduced me to everything in the business and everyone. I spent one-on-one time with top 40 legends like Bill Drake and learned from veterans like Bob Hamilton, KFRC, and Kent Burkhardt. Met icons like Dick Clark, Charlton Heston, Tim Conway, and Jerry Lee Lewis. I learned discipline and philosophies from business people like Mike Wade. The oldies format I didn't want to be a part of connected me to a wonderful history and prepared me for the future. CBS Radio didn't like to spend money, so I had the opportunity to do everything on air: news, sales, marketing, promotions, human resources, programming, and much more. I graduated, they gave me a job for $4.25 an hour. It was a horrible wage, but I had access to all the right people and the right tools to grow. For 5 years, I gave TK Communications and CBS all my time. While in this phase of my career, I got married and my wife started down her career path. I was learning other lessons about being a husband, would soon be a father, and my career would have greater purpose. I moved from thinking about moving up a ladder and began to think about how work could help me build a life and a family. My father taught me business lessons. Salesmanship and commitment were some of the lessons I received from him. My mom, however, gave me the most valuable business lessons. She taught me the importance of investing in others and helping each person around me achieve their goals. She taught me patience, or its better description, long-suffering. There was a great value in having endurance in business. She also taught me timing, knowing when to move forward and when to wait. Her concern for others gave me purpose in the relationships I made over the years. After my 5 years with CBS Radio, I went to Rodriguez Communications and KLTY for 3 years. I served with great people there: Clint Lewis, Bonnie Curry, Frank Reed, Keith Nagengas, Sean Watwood, Joy Brusso, Ken Robinson, Vernell Dooley, and Trey Morris. We built the station into a top 10 12+, and over the next 2 decades, they would make it into a number 1. One of my responsibilities as marketing director was the development of Celebrate Freedom, an outdoor annual concert. I moved the venue at much risk, but with much reward. It would remain at the same venue for another 20 years after I left and grow even bigger under Keith Nagengas' leadership. KLTY would build my marketing and sales skills and teach me diplomacy from successful and failed executions. The owner, Marcos Rodriguez, taught me how to guard a company and a family, a skill I would take with me. I also learned the value of silence and listening above always talking and pitching. My zeal for business grew at KLTY, and I learned there was much more to the framework of building a company than the particulars of my job. Our station had lost salespeople to other companies, and I had built a relationship with some of our larger clients. I was asked to manage those clients, and the advantage of commissions had me dive in head first. One of those clients was Al Banker of the Al Banker Insurance Agency. He was in his 40s and had built a sizable insurance agency in Fort Worth. He was marketing focused and enjoyed the process of promotions and sales. He interacted with me frequently, and when I took on the account, he had moved all his business over to a competitor. I had the opportunity to pitch him and get him back on KLTY. We communicated and met often, and as I helped manage the account, I enjoyed his zeal and appreciated his mentorship in the process. In 1998, I asked Al to meet with me one morning, and I pitched him the idea of becoming his marketing director. One of the greatest things in my life is that he said yes. Our family now included our daughter Sarah, and 1 year later, the arrival of our son, Don IV. I was 28 and ready to help Al grow further, and I was excited about the tools he had made available for marketing. Al was unique in that as an owner, he never kept me at arm's length, but included me in everything. Even if it wasn't marketing oriented, he would invite me into departmental meetings, introduce me to his valued relationships in business and politics. He asked me what I thought about the decisions he was making and listened to my ideas. I realized with time the gift I had received in working for this man. He opened the door wide open and permitted me to take on whatever interest I had in the business. I took on insurance sales and got licensed. I asked to infuse marketing into sales and customer service and would soon be managing those teams. I took on the carrier rep relationships and started to learn the insurance market. We expanded our marketing, and I learned the nuances of campaigns aligned with digital, print, TV, and event marketing. In 2003, Al came to me and said he wanted to start a managing general agency. We met with County Mutual, reinsurers, and others and pitched why we thought we were ready to take this step and the resources we had to accomplish it. The MGA and insurance company elevated my knowledge in the particulars of the business, as well as much ad hoc learning from dealing with regulators, reinsurers, agencies, attorneys, and vendors. A couple of attorneys who have provided a wealth of wisdom along the way are Anthony Eisnagel and Mike Hummert. I appreciate them both. In 2008, my peers Maria Cortez and Darren Kirby would join me in the development of an international staff. We developed offices and talent in Peru, Nicaragua, Honduras, and Mexico. The experience of building Surf 5 was a unique gift in my career I never anticipated. And to this day, I work with incredibly talented people in so many different countries. Another gift is the opportunity to work with the agency entrepreneurs across Texas, over 5,400 individuals who own or work within independent agencies and representing the Elanco products. I've learned lessons of risk, endurance, and business building from countless agents and reps. Individuals like Ross Ostikin and Tara Smith Juarez, Tony Harper, Danish Charania, Al Verji, Rafiq Rajapari, Joe Esparza, John Paul Dominguez, Mohammed Momin, Shane Harper, Rodrigo Melendez, Matt Seiler, and countless others. Our reinsurance and carrier relationships have also taught me a great deal about the industry over the years. Talented people such as Lyle McCoy, Pat O'Connor, Clem Dwyer, Drew Hilger, Mike Bluser, Dan Cotter, Jack Woodward, Roger Williams, and Tom McCall, again, just to name a few. In my time with the Banker Group, I was fortunate to work with many people who taught me so much of the particulars of insurance, relationships which have stood the test of time. Darren Kirby, Maria Cortez, Jim Jacobs, Michael Scott, Kelly Orr, Clint Woodward, Joanna Baez, Rosa Espinoza, and Al Banker IV, all with 10 to 30 years each working at the Banker Group. I have friends unrelated to the insurance industry who I've met in other circles of my life who have supported me along the path with thoughts and encouragement. Steve French, David Birch, Britt Lane, Richard Sammons, John Pribble, Don Staten, Kermit Horn, and Monty Jones. These men and others listened and offered wise counsel when I needed it most. I list all these individuals because without them, I would be ignorant to so many things. Just through our interactions and their kindness, I've grown in my career and my understanding of the world around me. There are a few individuals who I must expound upon. Al Banker changed my life. Because he invested in me, taught me, permitted me to run with ideas and projects, rewarded me, and corrected me, I've lived a unique career and life. The rewards helped me raise a family and to show my children the world. Both of our kids grew up to be critical thinkers and fearless individuals, and Al had an impact on them through his person and the access he provided them to people and places. My wife and I built a treasure chest of memories, which continued to stir us. Al's kindness made the uniqueness of the journey possible. Al's optimism is contagious. When I was discouraged, felt inadequate, or running out of steam, his words of encouragement would set me right and infuse zeal. Maria Cortez, Darren Kirby, and I have slayed dragons together for over 2 decades. Their friendships, which began through our work, are cornerstones for me. Our trio has moved mountains, leaped oceans, and provided a wealth of wonderful experiences. As a team, we have been loved, hated, lied about, and revered. We have locked arms in business and uncovered the greatest of talented people and discovered company-changing processes. They are both resolute people and trusted companions. Relationships are the gift of a career. The work is important and deserves our intense attention, but the people we serve and serve with are what matters most. What good would wealth and influence be if it came with a price of loneliness and discord? My only regrets are related to the relationships where I could have done better. It all ends one day. The wealth, influence, and experiences are transferred to someone else. A new generation takes it all on and applies the latest societal changes in technology, and you step into the background. This is how it should be. If you did well, then some of your wisdom was transferred and saves the next generation some of your mistakes and grounds them in the best of the human experience. And if you're in pursuit of right things, you build relationships you would feel lost without. I've learned some important lessons in my career. Be a lifelong learner. Never lord over anyone. Do things for people who are most ignored and underappreciated. Always work on your math. Always be investing and finding ways to make money on your money. And show the greatest kindness to those in service roles. Be an open book to everyone. Don't hide your weaknesses and never lead people to believe your life is perfect. Ask people to help fill in the gaps where you have weaknesses. Live now, seek experiences, take breaks, and plan events with others. Tomorrow is not promised, so now is the time to live. After a 35-year career and 25 years at Alensco, I'm sure it's not yet time to step into the background, but when I do, it will be holding with gratitude to the people who gave me all of the experiences and lessons in my career and life. I thank you all.